NAACP branch in one of the prisons?
Yes, we do.
Okay, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you? This is Denise Spanish. I am watching the show. Wanted to I guess, congratulate you. The program a couple weeks ago that was hosted by Donald Morton, who is sitting there, I thought was an excellent show. They discussed some educational issues that are very hot right now in the community, and it appears to me that, Donald just mentioned, some of the issues that exist with the NAACP. But the other thing that I've heard, because I've wanted to join myself, but I've pulled back because what I've heard is that they're very closed to the voices of the community. They know what they want to do, and they're just doing it their way.
Well, you have the you have the president here. So, President?
Yeah, please talk to me because I'm not closing nobody. If you join, you have a voice. If you join, we listen to you. If you join, we come to you. I had a guy call me coming out of Philadelphia, trying to get me some more shoes, Norm. And he called me like 9:30 talking about he had 70 houses in Dover and they trying to take his houses. And to see Dover is, and I talked to this gentleman and got the president of Dover on the line, which she was in Texas, to listen to that person. And now we're gonna meet with that person.
Hey, Denise, are you listening?
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys a question. Like, say she wants to join tomorrow, right? I mean, this is a good question. I mean, because a lot of people who are watching probably want to join. And you're giving out your cell number, right? So it seems to me that, things are getting reorganized.
Right.
I mean, do you have a central location? Do you have a central, and it goes back even to the guy who called earlier. Do we have somewhere where a P.O. box?
Yes,
are you just working on that now?
No, it's P.O. Box 30134, Wilmington, Delaware 19805.
But you don't have a local office here?
Well, no.
Not right now.
We putting one together.
Yeah, okay.
And how often do you meet and where?
Okay, the branches meet once a month. They have a executive meeting, then they have a membership meeting. The state meet every 3 months, and we was meeting at Dell State, and we decided to move it to the Hilton out in Newark, come up to UAW, the Hilton, Newark, UAW, down on Baltimore Pipe and different places, and Longshoreman and stuff. We decided to bring it to the people. Instead,
so a lot of things it's starting to get back. Because you probably need a website or something like that where it'll list all that, make it easier for you. Or 9,000 people be calling your cell phone.
Correct.
Yes,
you be working, you won't be able to do the work.
We are totally reorganizing.
Yeah, but thank you, Denise.
All right, you're welcome.
How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Good evening, Norma. And good evening, Reverend Martin.
Bless you. Good evening.
God bless all three of you all.
Good. We listening. How you doing?
Okay, I thought someone else was talking too.
No, go ahead.
These here boys run, they don't have no respect for you. How they gonna get a job? They walk around with the pants half below the pants, and so forth. And I don't like that. At least I don't like it. They don't give their parents respect, even giving the senior citizens out here respect. When they come around, they don't care what they're doing. They be smoking and saying everything so high in the name of God, they're going to go out here and get a job. Reverend Martin, you should try to teach them, as way to pull their pants up.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, she right about that. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Norm.
Hi, yes. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I had a comment on the last lady's comment. What is it going to take? It's going to take 5,000 men. It's not just going to take Mr. Norman, Mr. Reverend Morton, Mr. Oliver, or Mouse. It's going to take all the churches to get out here and to start to take effect in this community, which is called as ours. If we don't, it's going to get worse and worse, sir. I remember when I was growing up, I mean, the churches were the one that were out in the streets. They had foot soldiers out in the streets.
Yeah, good point.
Everybody gets scared of churches because they think that they're going to be chastised by the time they come to the church.
Good point.
So a lot of people get kind of scared from those things.
Yeah, that's a good
You know,
point.
so what we need is to say, okay, here, look, we got 3 of our leaders here, and what we need to do is say, listen, this is where we're going to meet. We already know Mouse is the president of the NAACP. We already got Pastor Morton there. We already know what Norman, your track record speaks for itself. You know, so you guys are already the leaders of our community. What we need to do is to say, hey, look, we need to have a forum where we can have all the hard knocks together, the people of the, you know, and then try to get this thing together as a community, especially for us as the minorities.
Hey, man, that's a good point. See, I mean, you hear the passion in people calling.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Let's take a couple more calls. Same guy here? If he's in the studio, he could come on out.
He was a president. So
Yeah, I know. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hello, Mama. How you doing?
How you doing?
You and Mouse and the other gentleman. I'm Diggin Williams from Labor Local 199. I just want to leave this number, and they can call, and they'll tell them how to get down there to the Union Hall.
Okay.
Okay.
The phone number is 302-42-880, and they'll be there at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Where you guys located at now?
You know down Elton Road? You know down there where Chrysler Credit Union at?
Okay.
Chrysler Credit Union, make a left, go up on the hill and get the bottom of the hill. You make a left and go back in there.
Give me your number again.
302-6542-880.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
That goes to show you everybody watch the show. Sam, you can bring that. Did you want to bring that blown up? You want to put that on? You just sit it when you sit over there. Take it. You gonna bring it to him? Okay.
You know, one thing.
How you doing? Welcome to the show.
One thing we're working for.
Good evening. I live in Claymont, and I was listening to Mr. Smith, I guess it is, talking about that. You know, he's trying to get chapters in different areas. I'm also listening to you guys, and I used to be a firm believer in the NAACP, but in the recent years, I've felt that they have weakened. I still live in Claymont, and I would love to check this out. I would love to be a part of the getting Claymont together. I have no problem with that. I have nothing but time on my hands, but I really would like to know more about what's going on here. Now, I hear you talking about you're trying to reorganize. That's all good and fine. But I'm looking for, definite, something that's going to definitely draw my interest to not only for me, but so that I can go out and recruit others as well. I think it's important that, I don't know, if there's some information that can be sent to me or there's somebody that I can talk to.
I'll come to him.
What's going on.
Yeah, what'd you say?
I'll come to him.
He said he'll come to you.
That's not a problem.
So you want to take Richard's phone number down?
Oh, sure. Hold on.
See, this is good. This is why these kind of shows are good. Where you disseminate information and you don't know who's watching. You got people from Claymont who's trying to, get involved. You got older folks who are calling saying this is what we need to do. People who want to be supportive.
Correct.
I mean, like the young man. Go ahead.
It's 293 1601.
1601.
Okay.
That's 302.
And do me a favor, get in touch with me, leave a message, and before the week's out, I'll call you and we'll sit down, we'll talk, because it's other people up there and is now a part of this movement to bring our unit in.
Well, you can count on it, sir.
All right, thank you. Hey, Sam Guy just joined us. How you doing, Mr. Guy?
Just fine. How you doing?
You were former NAACP state president.
That's correct. That was many years ago.
Have you been listening to some of the conversation and what do you think?
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I'm glad Mouse is in charge and he's putting together a strong team. And I want people out in the audience to realize that the NAACP is an organization comprised of people. And so its strength is an issue of people coming in and joining in and lending their talents to making the organization strong locally. And that's what Mouse and his team are doing. They're building something right now, and they're doing a good job laying a good foundation. So I encourage the guy who called in to join with him and others to do the same.
Okay. I think it's also important at whatever level that a person can do it is to give the NAACP permission to have a fresh start. Don't sabotage it because of its history
That's
or
a good
what has
point.
not happened or its inactivity in recent history. Give it a chance to have a fresh start so they can do what it needs to do.
Okay, let's take another call.
Hello?
Yeah, you got to turn your TV down a little bit, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Okay. My mother was a member of the NAACP for many years. And right now they're just getting started. Why do we call him Mouse? His name is Richard Smith.
Yeah, I don't know. You got to ask him that.
And we need to respect one another.
Yeah, you know, maybe some of his history might be coming out. No, I'm joking. I don't know.
Well,
I'm calling Richard.
It's a reason because I
We
went to
need
fair.
to give respect.
Tell him, listen,
Okay,
I'll tell
that's his nickname.
Okay, that's his nickname. Thank you, sweetheart.
I went to fair school for hooking school. I was one of the only black kids on the east side that they put in a reformatory for not going to school. And I was hooking in school inside the school. So I was cutting classes, okay? And when I got to Ferris was segregated. They had ball cows, Dunbar.
Actually, Ferris was segregated?
Yes, Ferris was segregated at the
Damn.
time. And the
If
blacks.
you're a crook, you're a crook. So even crooks got segregated.
Yeah.
My goodness, what is the world coming to?
In the mess hall, the blacks still on one side, the
Jesus
whites was
crackers.
on the other, and the blacks sent me across to sit in the white section and to instigate something. And then they all got the tussle and everything. About 6 months later, Ferris was, it wasn't segregated no more. It was integrated, mixed cows and stuff. So I was part of a movement back then when I was 10 years old.
And you was crawling, they called you
I
Mouse.
was crying, so they decided to call me Mouse.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Guy, real quick, let me, and we're going to go to the phones are ringing off the hook. But Mr. Guy has an important issue that we dealt with like 15 years ago, and you sent it to me, and I forgot that we even presented the ordinance, and I think it's relevant for this conversation and for this time. Right. So tell me what happened, Mr. Guy.
And actually, it's two. So I'm gonna get the two topics are the Leonard L. Williams Justice Center, but the other one is today is the 100th anniversary of the death of Harriet Tubman.
That's right.
And we handled that too.
Wow.
But I'll start with Leonard L. Williams first, Justice Center.
See, I was doing stuff when I had hair.
Hey, there you go. But I sponsored an ordinance, and you were the co-sponsor of this ordinance back in '97. And basically, the ordinance said that the property that the city owned between 4th Street and 6th Street and King and Walnut, if you built a courthouse there, it was going to be named the Leonard L. Williams Justice Center.
Wow.
And back then, nobody in the world knew that a courthouse was going to be built there.
Wow.
Right?
I remember we had that
But we
conversation.
kind of figured out that's where one was going to go. So we were thinking in advance, and we always did Black history related legislation and resolutions, because we respected our history. And so we put that in place.
So people think we're lying. Put the camera on there. Show them that. See, sometimes I say, "So man, you ain't do that." Yeah, I've been fighting for a long time. But you can still talk while he's doing that. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah. So it says right in the upper left-hand corner, our two names are listed right there as the sponsors. But also remember the story with it was called Riverfront Park, and you and Jim Baker sponsored a resolution saying that you wanted it named Tubman Garrett Riverfront Park. And the Riverfront Development Corporation refused to do it, and I was always the enforcer. So when anybody disrespects city council, I handled it.
Right.
So they were going to get a $2 million grant. And remember that day I stopped the meeting, had Stephanie hold the legislation, and then they all walked around, what happened? And I said, well, the park isn't named. So they didn't get that $2 million. Then they went on and renamed it Tubman Garrett Riverfront Park, and then they got their grant money. But you and Jim Baker had put in the resolution for it to be renamed.
Let me ask you another question. Why isn't the courthouse named Lenny Williams?
That's what I want.
I mean,
There's the ordinance. I guess folks are looking into that right now.
Did we
as
go to
what
sleep? Did we go to
the
sleep?
ordinance passed.
the ordinance.
So
ordinance
once the
passed.
ordinance passed, right, it's bonding law.
Yes, right.
So it should say that. And I remember us having this conversation. You and I were walking, and I said, and you brought up to me, you said, and it goes back to what I say, a lot of times we need to have these people with their flyers while they're alive.
Right.
You know what I mean? He would have been able to see his name on this building.
Absolutely.
And
well,
now,
he knew about this.
Well, I'm sure he did.
Yeah, he knew about it, because we
I
talked about it many times.
I remember talking to him, and he said, I don't want to fight that, and you get into stuff. But, so right now you're saying that the mayor or city council say, look, here's the ordinance. And what did you tell me you would do? You told me this other day.
This is what I'm saying. It's really simple. The state might want to act a fool for a minute, but the public works director can make one of those signs, like the sign that says Lawyers Row. Remember they voted on that a year ago? Them signs are up. So the public works director can go back there and make up some official signs and put them right up on the street saying this is for purposes of the city of Wilmington, Leonard L. Williams Justice Center, to get this started.
But Sam, who owned the building?
I'm talking about
Say
on the
you're
street.
Wilmington, right?
No, the state owns the building.
Okay.
He's talking about putting a sign on the
I'm
street.
talking about
when they
putting a
walk
sign
in,
on the street.
like you got a sign out there, Lewis Redden or whatever outside.
Okay.
You can walk in there.
For starters.
How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hello?
How you doing? Yeah, we talking about a lot of stuff. What's going on?
Hey, I keep getting cut off.
That's okay.
This is Mr. Triplet again.
Okay.
Anyway, I basically was
Your phone is up, your TV's up, so it's some echo. We can't really.
All right, let me turn that down.
And people can't even hear what you're talking about.
I turned the TV completely off.
All right, go ahead.
Now, the problem that I was basically talking about was basically, Mouse knows, Richard, let's call him Richard. Richard knows he can use Westcourt at any given time. So whenever we need to get as many men as we can get, we have that as, as free of charge. He knows my number, I have his number. I'm willing to get this thing started as soon as possible. My concern is I'm tired of the drugs and the guns and us killing each other. I'm sick of it all ourselves. And then we also need ministers like Mr. Morton that's going to stand behind us and also break it down biblically for us so that they can understand it. And then, me and Mouse was talking about having a program that's called My Brother's Keepers, where we're working with our brothers. You guys have the wisdom. The most priceless thing, we can't give them money and put a roof over their head. What was that saying? We could teach them how to fish, but if that old saying.
Yeah.
So basically we need to put all the tools that we all been blessed with and apply them so that they can use them to their everyday life job, on finding these men's job, on getting down there, knocking on city county's doors and figure out how are we going to be able to get these kids jobs to get them off the street. To teach them how to manage their money, to be, even we have single mothers, but first it starts with the man.
Yeah.
It then came to a point to where it became more stronger women than there is men.
Yeah.
So us men, we got to start being accountable. We got to account ourselves. We need to start getting on these streets and not being afraid. Everybody's being lazy now. We need to get off our hind parts. The same thing that Martin, Malcolm, and everybody else did. Instead of talking about it, we need to start doing something about it. The same thing. You can tell somebody you love them, but show them.
That's a good point. Hey, thank you for your call again. I mean, that's passion. I mean, you're hearing people with this kind of passion.
Him was talking during election time. He's going to come on to the NAACP people. We was talking about also having a march called Black Men Want Jobs, Not Jail. And we need to have that march. It need to be statewide. And the National told me if we have that march, and they would take that march around the country, start talking about jobs for young black men.
Let's have about one or two calls, and I want to finish up this conversation because I really would like the NAACP to take up the cause of getting this Lenny Williams Justice Center.
Certainly.
I mean, if we got, I mean, it's already passed. And Sam, sincerely, man, I appreciate you bringing it to my attention. You called me, you said, Norm, I found it. And this guy's he's an archive guy, so he's gonna go find some stuff like when we shot marbles in the third grade. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Go ahead. Go ahead. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, go. Hello?
Hello. Good evening, Mr. Norman.
Good evening.
Yes, I got a question for Mr. Smith. The reason why I'm calling is because we're talking about justice and everything, and I have a son who's been in the judicial system for over years. And there's a situation that just recently occurred where now he's facing a life sentence, possibly, and his court date is scheduled for the 27th of this month. And I was wondering if there's any way that Mr. Smith can contact me and maybe talk to him to see if, because I believe in the part of this, his rights has been violated.
You need to call me.
Hey, here's his number. Take his number down. 302
302
293
293
293.
Yes. 1601.
1601. All right?
1601.
Yeah, 1601.
Okay.
I'm almost memorizing your phone number, man. You gave out some tonight. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going there, Norm? This is Len Church. I just want to give a shout out to Mouse, and I want to say that it was really we had a great time. We were down in Washington, D.C. for the right to vote.
Okay. Richard, you're doing some good stuff. We don't know whether to call you Richard or Mouse. So we just call you Mr. Richard Mouse Smith. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello.
This is Brenda James Roberts.
How you doing?
I'm not just calling to give a shout out this evening.
Okay.
You know I work for the city of Wilmington.
Uh-huh.
But I am calling as citizen Brenda James Roberts.
Okay.
I am willing to take this issue to the city administration and to see whatever I can do to help bridge this gap with the NAACP.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you.
And she works in the city solicitor's office. Thank you. Never know who might call here. How you doing?
Hi, this is Marla Garris calling back again, and I just want to tell Richard Smith that if he needs an administrator, someone to actually do the any paperwork, administrative work, I am here for him and the organization.
Ain't that nice?
Thank you very much.
Ain't that nice? Ain't that nice? See, I mean, you know, and that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let me say this, Norm.
Go ahead.
I brought the Constitution with me because our committee duties are communication, education, community coordinator, finance, freedom fund, health, legal redress, membership and lifetime membership, political action, religious affairs, youth work, and the branches on committee youth work, women's and the NAACP called WIN, Armed Service and Veterans Affairs, economic development, housing, labor and industry, Afro-American culture, youth adults, all stay in the committee. We need people on every one of these committees.
Yeah, you got about 25 committees.
Yeah, and they call me every day from the national. They want to know chairperson who's on these committees, and that's what make up the NAACP. Those committees work and get things done.
But you know what I'm hearing, and you guys can chime in if you want. What I'm hearing from callers are people are ready to pull up their sleeves.
Absolutely.
They want to do something.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't think it's being critical or criticizing.
Right.
It's like they want to be a part of it. And I don't think that I wanted to be critical or criticizing.
Right, absolutely.
I wanted to do something. I mean, that's why you have this forum and this show that I know people watch this show.
Right. Right. There was no there's a quote that for every great president, no matter who it was, for LBJ there was MLK, because there has to be someone to stir the proverbial pot to make things happen. So in order for our president to be a great president, these kind of callers had to call and say, this is what we need from the NAACP. So that it continues to move us in the direction that we need to
Golly,
move.
man, them preachers, don't they know how to put it in words, man? God, man, you guys are so smooth with it, man. Golly days, I'm going to give you an offering.
I'll receive.
Where's your hand? Hey, Richard, before you go there.
The most important thing is that the executive board, the committees, the membership got to keep the president in check. The president can't be no lone ranger and go out there and do what they want to do. It's rules that they sit down and they must get back. And like Dr. Morton, he put me in check a lot.
Yeah. Hey, Sam, we're running out of time. How do we get this thing moving with this Leonard L. Williams Justice Center?
I think it's moving. I know I sent about 100 emails out to all the African American judges and lawyers in Delaware, and that kind of spread like wildfire.
So it's not a matter of any laws or anything again, right? It's just a matter of the mayor saying, put it out there?
I guess it's a matter of the follow through as to what is going to take place in light of the fact that it's been raised up again, and now we have a new administration in place. So Cass Srinivasan, wasn't going to put up signs. You know that, because he was there when we were there.
Wow.
But now that we have a new guy, Al Ballard, he may go ahead and start getting the ball rolling while other folks are interacting
And I would like
with
to,
the state.
You know what I'd like to do? You and I be at the ribbon cutting ceremony. I think that's justice. You agree?
Yo, just-
Not that,
think
not
so.
that we look for it, because we never even talk about it. I mean, like you talked about the thing that we with Baker and I for Harriet Tubman down at the riverfront. I never even talk about it. I never talk about this. But right is right is right. And Leonard Williams played a role in our lives.
Absolutely, and we appreciate
And we
that.
appreciate
And that's
it.
how we expressed our appreciation.
Let's take one call, and we're going to get out of here. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Well, hello. Thank you. This is Ruth Baker calling. Hi, Norm. How are
How you doing, Ruth?
I am very proud of the gentleman there, and Mr. Smith and Reverend Morton and Mr. Guy, of course, attorney Guy. There are a couple of things that strike me as I listen to the calls. One, I think that there needs to be additional clarity about people and their personal needs, because they mistakenly believe, I think, that the NAACP can solve their problems. And I think at this time, that's going to be difficult, and it can make it very difficult for the NAACP to get to where it wants to be. So I think there needs to be some clarity there. I think also, in terms of organizational autonomy, we have numerous organizations, and I think it would be very smart of the NAACP to call a conclave, if you will, to look at what all of these organizations can contribute to the NAACP. Additionally, the information flow, I would hope that the organization would control time frames, because sometimes we get calls at the last minute, and we've got to start controlling our agenda and setting the dates and times of when we're going to.
Hey, Ruth, thanks for calling. They give me the
Thank
hand.
you.
All right. Thank you. I want to thank the panel.
Thank you.
And again, congratulations to Howard High School
Yes.
But can I
of
give a-
Technology.
Can I give a shout out right quick to Lisa Gooden, to Kathy from the ACL.
That's a count. You count, man.
To Dr. Sinyoki, and to Dr. Sinyoki, who's one of our biggest supporters.
Any more shout-outs? Mr.
Norm,
Mr. Richard, Mount Smith, Johnson, Williams, cousin. You know what I mean? You got to put all these things. Hey, Sam, thank you so very much again, my brother. I mean, and this is a conversation that we probably need to continue on the next couple of weeks. And thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And really, what I think we should do is have a forum on this show.
Agreed.
With maybe Sammy and them will give me an additional hour where we can have different organizations and like what Ruth's talking about,
bring them in.
and really bring
Absolutely.
host.
Everybody needs to understand that the NAACP is that rock foundation that's been there for all of us forever and ever. And so don't hurt the NAACP, support it.
That's right. Thank you. Again, and Julius and those guys will be here next week. I'll be, and then I think I got some students coming the following week. Maybe you can host it then. Because I think I'll be out partying somewhere, man. I'll be at the NCAA, and I'll come to church and get some prayer.
Yes, sir. Yes,
some
sir.
holy wine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I sponsored an ordinance 15 years ago
Lenny Williams.
to name the courthouse Lenny Williams. This is what I'm talking about in a fight. Fight for something, stand for something. And they still haven't named it. And I don't know why, and I think Sam Guy's going to come and talk about it.
Well, we're getting
later.
back to Mr. Cephas. I gave Mr. Cephas a ring and told him that regardless of what people say, try to do, the NAACP is with him, 125%. We are not going to let them throw him underneath the bus.
Okay.
He's too valuable to the poor. He's too valuable to people. So, Mr. Cephas, we are with you.
Good.